B2B email marketing, platforms for success. The inbox is crowded, but the channel still prints ROI. In B2B sales right now, your buyers' inboxes are a battlefield. Every competitor is sequencing, every vendor is personalizing, and far too many teams mistake subject line tweaks for strategy. The irony is that email is still one of the best performing revenue channels available, with studies commonly citing roughly $36 to $42 returned for every $1 invested. When a channel performs like that, the platform decisions behind it aren't marketing ops chores, they're revenue decisions. Email also isn't fading in relevance. Between 78 and 88% of B2B companies report using email campaigns as a core lead generation tactic, and roughly 48 to 53% of B2B marketers say email is their most effective or most productive channel for generating leads. If your outbound program is underperforming, the channel usually isn't the problem. Your platform strategy, data, and execution are. We see the same pattern over and over. Marketing selects a newsletter-friendly tool that SDRs can't live in. Sales bolts on multiple senders that hit the same contacts. And RevOps ends up stuck reconciling activity logs that don't tie back to meetings or pipeline. The goal of this guide is to help you choose platforms that actually support SDR workflows, protect deliverability, and make it easier to book meetings, not just generate clicks. What good looks like in 2025, benchmarks you can manage to. Before you compare tools, define what success looks like for your team. Global benchmarks for 2025 put average email performance around a 31.2% open rate and roughly a 3.8% click-through rate, CTR, with B2B services closer to 33.1% opens. Those numbers aren't the ceiling for a well-targeted outbound program, but they're a useful sanity check for whether you have a targeting, deliverability, or workflow problem. For SDR-led outbound, we recommend treating opens and clicks as diagnostics, not victory laps. The real benchmark is downstream: replies, meetings booked, and opportunities created by segment and sequence. If your platform can't connect email activity to CRM outcomes reliably, you'll optimize for the wrong things and wonder why pipeline stalls. Once benchmarks are defined, platform evaluation gets simpler. You're buying the system that makes it easiest for your team to hit and steadily raise those numbers, while keeping deliverability healthy and SDR activity consistent week after week. Email platforms versus sales engagement platforms, and why you usually need both. Most B2B teams need two different email engines with different jobs. Your marketing ESP or marketing automation platform is designed for newsletters, event promos, nurtures, and lifecycle messaging. Your sales engagement platform is designed for SDR execution, task queues, multi-step sequences, reply handling, and clean CRM logging, so reps aren't stuck juggling inbox rules, spreadsheets, and disconnected tools. Where teams get burned is trying to force one tool to do both jobs, or letting multiple tools send to the same contacts without suppression rules. That's how you end up double-touching prospects, eroding trust, and torching domains. Whether you're running in-house prospecting or working with a cold email agency, an outbound sales agency, or an SDR agency, the one sender per use case rule protects both performance and reputation. If you're evaluating tools, the key question isn't which one has the most features. It's which system will SDRs actually use daily, and which system will reliably tie touches to meetings booked and revenue. That's the difference between a stack that looks impressive and a stack that produces pipeline. How to pick the right platform without creating MarTech sprawl. The first mistake we see is letting marketing pick the platform without real sales input. You end up with a beautiful campaign builder that's terrible for SDR workflows. No practical task queue, weak sequencing, clunky CRM sync, and reps quietly revert to manual Gmail and spreadsheets. A better approach is a joint selection process where sales leadership, SDR management, and RevOps score platforms against real outbound requirements. Reply handling, meeting handoff, activity logging, throttling, and reporting that reaches opportunity creation. The second mistake is buying multiple tools that can all send emails to the same leads. That's how teams double send, inflate volumes unintentionally, and degrade deliverability fast. Define one primary sending platform for SDR outbound and one for marketing nurtures. Then enforce suppression rules and clear field ownership so each contact gets the right touches at the right cadence. This matters even more because the average enterprise MarTech stack is now around 120 tools, and research frequently points out that marketers use less than half of what they buy. Your goal is the opposite, a lean stack where every tool has a clear owner, a single source of truth, and a direct connection to revenue outcomes. That discipline keeps SDR productivity high whether you're running internally or augmenting with sales outsourcing, an outsourced sales team, or cold calling services that work alongside email. A lean stack beats a flashy stack. If SDRs don't live in it every day, it doesn't exist. Deliverability is the feature that determines whether anything else matters. If prospects never see your emails, it doesn't matter how good your templates look. Treat deliverability as a first-class requirement. Authentication, SPF, DKIM, DMARC, domain and mailbox warm-up, sending limits per rep, bounce monitoring, and spam complaint visibility. When evaluating platforms, prioritize granular controls and deliverability dashboards over nice-to-have design widgets that don't move pipeline. List quality is the other half of deliverability, and it's where teams often misdiagnose problems. Copy can't fix bad data, it just fails faster. Pair your platform with strong enrichment and B2B list building services, validate addresses regularly, and make it easy for SDRs to flag bad records from the front lines so RevOps can clean systematically. Automation supports deliverability and performance when used responsibly. Studies often show automated workflows achieving around 45% open rates and 10.2% CTR, well above broadcast averages, because messages are triggered by intent and timing rather than brute force. The takeaway for platform selection is simple. You want sending controls that prevent overmailing plus automation that routes human effort to the highest signal accounts. Personalization, segmentation, and AI, scaling researched without sounding robotic. Generic blasts are expensive, mostly because they waste your best prospects' attention. Research commonly cited in the industry shows personalized emails can drive about 29% higher open rates and 41% higher click-through rates compared to non-personalized campaigns. That lift is why platform features like dynamic fields, conditional content, and segmentation aren't marketing nice-to-haves, they're core outbound levers. AI is now part of that execution layer. One widely referenced report found 45% of teams already use AI to help create email content, which means your prospects are seeing more AI-assisted messaging every week. The teams that win treat AI like a junior researcher and copy partner. It drafts, suggests, and personalizes, but humans still own strategy, tone, and quality control. At SalesHive, we use AI as an accelerator, not a substitute for positioning. Our eMod personalization engine is built to add account-specific hooks while keeping emails short, clear, and human. Exactly what SDRs need to book meetings without writing every message from scratch. If you're comparing tools or considering a B2B sales agency model, look for AI capabilities that fit into real workflows, fast enrichment, consistent personalization rules, and reporting that proves whether personalization is increasing replies and meetings, not just clicks. Common platform mistakes that quietly kill SDR productivity. The biggest operational failure is not using automation and triggers for follow-ups. Manual follow-up is where good leads go to die. An interested prospect opens, intent spikes, and then nothing happens because the SDR is chasing new names. Your platform should make it easy to trigger concise sequences based on high-intent signals, pricing page views, form fills, repeat visits, and to cue the next best action so reps spend human time where it matters. Another common failure is reporting only on opens and clicks instead of meetings and revenue. Opens fluctuate for reasons outside your control, and clicks can be misleading in cold outbound, where many high-performing messages avoid links entirely. Tie platform reporting into CRM opportunities. Track meetings booked and opportunities created by sequence and segment, and make pipeline per rep the primary scoreboard. Finally, many teams unknowingly create conflicts between email and calling motions by splitting ownership across too many tools. If your cold calling team uses one system, your email sequences run in another, and LinkedIn steps live in a third, you lose coordination and attribution. Whether you're building in-house or partnering with cold calling companies, a cold calling agency, or a sales development agency, you want one coordinated workflow that keeps email, calls, and LinkedIn touches aligned and properly logged. A practical rollout plan. Consolidate, pilot, then optimize for meetings. If you're switching platforms, start by mapping your current stack and eliminating overlap. Document every tool that can send an email to a prospect, what it sends, who owns it, and which fields it writes back to your CRM. Then consolidate to one primary SDR sending platform and one marketing ESP with suppression rules that prevent double sends and protect domain reputation. Next, run a 90-day pilot with strict adoption requirements. Choose a subset of SDRs, require that 100% of outbound email runs through the new platform, and compare results against a baseline. Meetings booked, speed to lead on high-intent triggers, and opportunities created. Most teams can see meaningful performance signal in about 4 to 8 weeks if data cleanup and warm-up are handled correctly. But a full view of impact typically takes a full quarter of consistent execution. Finally, optimize around the outcomes leadership cares about. If your model is pay-per-meeting lead generation or pay-per-appointment lead generation, define exactly what qualifies as a meeting and track it consistently through the CRM. If you're considering sales outsourcing, outsource sales, or an outsourced B2B sales approach, insist on the same measurement discipline. Clear ownership of sending, list hygiene, sequencing, and attribution, so the platform becomes a predictable pipeline engine instead of another subscription on the expense line.